go to the assemblies and we could sing there and dance. Of course, I used to dance, dance, dance. And I used to make costumes for the annual show. Because we made costumes like you have in those theaters now, where they make the costumes. We actually made them from scratch. And that's where I learned how to put clothes together, really. But I started with just a pattern at home and a treadle sewing machine, just following the pattern, which was basic things I could make. But when I got into school, we did like commercial sewing. And that's when I learned how to do all the ruffles and the petticoats and all of those things for costumes. But music, Miss Bobby Blakely Jones was a music teacher when I was there. So she was a music teacher for Isaac Hayes and myself and everybody, and she helped you tremendously. She would touch the piano. I think I cannot hear myself. Ding, ding. That's as loud as she would talk, and she's 80-something years old now, and she's still the same way. But I don't think if there was music, I don't know how I would do. And I'm the same way about church, too. If you didn't have the music, I wonder if I would go sometimes. Sometimes, you know. But I know that's not what you go for, but make a joyful noise to the Lord, you know.
Amen. So you were very involved in high school, you were very involved in church. Were you as involved in the community?
Well, yes. I was a kid that talked a lot, and I could do a lot of things, and I always did things to make money. Mm-hmm. My daddy didn't give us money to go in our pocket. He just bought the necessities. So Miss Bass taught school. She would get the patterns and cut it out, and I would sew them. Velvet Rose and Billie Jean, they were into the numbers in Detroit, which was rackets, but they would come down and they needed a babysitter, so I babysitted the kids. So I wore $200-300 dresses to school, but it was given to me because I babysit, and they gave me money too. But I could always wash cashmere sweaters for another lady, and I got paid. And I would go to the store for another lady, and I would clean up. I always did something to make some money, and I was always in some kind of contest where you would be selling tickets, and I sold tickets, and I was always too young for the talent shows, so if I win they would kick me out. I was built like an older person, but I really was just a kid. So when I get in those contests, I would have so much money to turn in, but I knew I wasn't going to win, so I would have part for me and part for them. So I ate in the Harlem house and ate hot dogs and things and had ice cream. I bring my mother ice cream every day because a lot of people would take the tickets, wouldn't take the tickets and give you the money. But I was always, as my mother would say, she's very industrious, but I would always do something to earn some kind of pay.
Okay, just taking a little turn back to the high school. Floyd Newman said something about maybe a rivalry or competitive edge between Manassas and Booker T. Washington as far as music goes. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
The rivalry?
Yes.
Well, that was, they had the thing called the ballet, whereas we had the annual show. Well, they would have one down at the Cooks Convention Center, and we would have one at the Cooks Convention Center, but at different times. But it was always a challenge. But somebody told me that somebody created that rivalry. And I think Mr. Abel told me who it was, and I don't remember the name. He said they wrote an article wrote a book about schools, and they left Manassas out. So that caused the teachers and the kids to be on the bad side. So when they would have games and things, well, we go to the game, but before the game was out, Miss Bass would have the car sitting out there. And just for the halftime, we'd run and get in the car because you know when you get ready to go, there's going to be a fight. Somebody's going to get cut. And they would go and pull the trolleys off of the bus to stop the bus to get on and fight, but we didn't ride the bus.
Mhm.
But they didn't shoot, do stuff like that. But they used to throw rocks and you know what they used to do, all those crazy things. But they were different violent from what they are now. But the rivalry came, I think, from somebody creating that, just so they could be challenging like each other. Even today, you say, well, what school do you go to? The Big M. We go to the Big W, the Wildcat. We were the Tigers, you know. But it was just somebody created that thing, and it stayed alive up until today, I think. I don't know how kids think nowadays, though. They're different.